Yo, what up? It's your boy I Sleep Too Late, and in this video we are going to be featuring a Hackmons set that I personally really like. It is Huge Power Regigigas with Fake Out, Extreme Speed, Earthquake, and of course Sacred Fire. Now, I do want to apologize. The card on the top is in error. You can see that there's a 0 next to the attack. Obviously, it's a 31 EV attack. The 0 represents 0 IVs. Sorry, IVs is what I meant to say. But for some reason, there was a glitch when I was making these videos, and the goal of the top cards is it's in theater mode is what it's called, and they're there to kind of capture the moveset of the Pokemon, so I don't have to like feature the moveset on the actual game screen, and then that kind of delays the gameplay. So you can actually see the gameplay live while looking at the actual Pokemon moveset up top. So that is what's going on, and like I said before, disregard the 0 next to the attack under the stats of the Regigigas. It is a very powerful moveset. It's got Fake Out and Extreme Speed. Both are moves that it gets stabbed from. Both are priority moves. And of course, Extreme Speed mostly when it KOs pretty much everything that doesn't resist it. Fake Out is a very, very powerful move, which I'll discuss later. And Earthquake and Sacred Fire are coverage moves as well. Earthquake and Sacred Fire pretty much have really good coverage across the board, and so you are going to see some real good gameplay here. As we move on to the next opponent, these run in like 7s, I think. There's a stretch of 7 matches at once. We're going to be facing off against our second opponent, Cowgirl Carly, who has a Rhydon. And we've got our Regigigas here doing some good work. Now, it is going to get resisted, so the Fake Out isn't going to do a whole lot, but it is going to at least make the Rhydon flinch. We do get recoil from Life Orb, which may not necessarily be a problem per se, but it is something to be mindful of. We're going to follow that up with an Earthquake, which is going to 1-hit KO, or rather 2-hit KO the Rhydon after the Fake Out. And yeah, that's one of the things about Fake Out that's so good. It basically is a move slot. It takes up one of your moves, but at the cost of effectively having your opponent start out with like 20 to 30% less health. So that's the drawback, right? Is that you lose out on a move slot. You have 3 move slots, and you sacrifice your 4th move slot for Fake Out, which is kind of like, if you think about it, like a Stealth Rocks, right? Because your opponent enters the battlefield, well, assuming that this is like a lead, right? Because obviously you can't Fake Out every single time a Pokemon gets encountered, but it's in a way, it's like a way to get cheap chip damage out in front, and a way to get like a good reach with your Extreme Speed, because the goal of this set is to want to KO as many things as possible with Extreme Speed. And assuming your opponent's lead is bulky or can potentially survive a hit from Extreme Speed, Fake Out is going to do that extra damage and kind of allow you to finish off most things that are leads. So that's kind of the idea behind Fake Out. Very powerful move. And as we face off against opponent number 3, you're going to start to see more variety here, right? But of course, we're going to want to use Earthquake against the Rhyperior. So we'll probably lead with the Fake Out. And like I said before, with things that resist normal, it's not going to do as much. But as you can see here, it did do quite a bit, even though it was resisted. We're going to follow that up with an Earthquake, which is going to have no problem one-shotting this Rhyperior. I'm curious why Rhydon, was it Rhydon? Yeah, I'm curious why Rhydon shows up in some of these Battle Tower matches, because there's no Eviolite in this generation, so it makes you wonder why they play Rhydon in the Super Singles matches. But anyway, we've got Garchomp here. We're going to have no problem 1-hit KOing the Garchomp with Extreme Speed. Garchomp is another Pokemon that I really like and that I probably want to try or feature as a Huge Power. Get this, Huge Power, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, very powerful combination. Pretty much solid type coverage all around, although I guess you could maybe in Gen 7 play like I think it's called Dragon Hammer. I'm not sure if it's Dragon Hammer, but there's a couple of good moves like 1,000 Arrows that you could use as well. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and use Earthquake on this Magnezone. I keep thinking that Magnezone has Levitate. Anything that levitates, I think I just assume has Levitate. But of course, Magnezone is quad weak to ground, so Earthquake has no problems here. And we are going to beat this trainer here. So moving on to the next one. Hope y'all are having a good day out there or night, whatever time you're watching this. We are, of course, having no issues soloing these matches with Huge Power Regigigas as we face off against Worker Tyrell with their Golem. Golem is going to be very defensive as far as rock type goes, but we can obviously lead with Fake Out to deal some good chip damage here. As you can see, it did quite a number, almost 20-30%, and then we're going to finish off this with an Earthquake. Earthquake, obviously very powerful. Sacred Fire is the only move that I don't really like as much. I don't like any move that has like 95% accuracy, because there's always that 1 in 20 chance that you miss. And that 5% is pretty significant. You know, the chances of you missing is more common than you would think. So never assume that 95 equals 100, because there is always that chance that you just lose. But as you can see here, we face off against Huge Power versus Huge Power, or rather Pure Power versus Pure Power. But of course, the extreme speed is much more powerful. And facing off against Bastiodon, we're going to want an Earthquake here. And after Earthquake, I believe this thing does have Sturdy, so it should survive like one attack. But I still think we survive a Metal Sound. I think that's the move that it's probably going to use. Oh, never mind. For some reason, I thought Bastiodon had Sturdy. But apparently it does not. So here we are facing off against our next opponent. And yeah, we're just kind of speed running through this. We're steamrolling through all of our opponents. We're having no issues here, battling it out. Facing off against Jogger Austin and their Infernape. Now, take a look at this. We're going to use Fake Out. And I want you to see how much damage Fake Out does to a full health Infernape. Take a look at this. Watch it drop, 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 and it goes all the way down to 0. Yeah, I found out the I guess you could say the long way, or the interesting way, that Fake Out 1 KOs full health Infernape and full health Typhlosion. And that is kind of crazy when you have a Huge Power Regigigas. Now, that also applies to Huge Power Slaking as well, or Pure Power Slaking. Slaking is obviously the one that most people prefer using over Regigigas. The only reason why you use Regigigas is because it's more well-rounded defensively, but in metagames where Huge Power, Pure Power are all over the place, and so physical attackers are more common, then yeah, it makes sense to have a Slaking over a Regigigas, because Slaking has a lot more HP, and its defense, physical bulk is way better than its special bulk. But Regigigas has really powerful special bulk, so if you're looking for like well-rounded Pokemon for defense, then Regigigas is probably the way to go, although they're both pretty equal in my opinion. But yeah, competitive players prefer Slaking. All right, moving on to the next opponent here. Let's see what you got. We've got our opponent, Cameraman Darren, sending out Metagross. And so we're going to want to lead with Fake Out here, of course, but keep in mind that it's not going to do too much. And we also take Life Orb Recoil as well. Ooh, that did a lot more than I thought. Wow. But yeah, Earthquake or Sacred Fire, either one is fine. Oh no, we missed. Yeah, that's one of the downsides. Like I said, 95% accuracy is always a downside. But we're going to try Sacred Fire once more, and we're going to do some good work here. Thankfully, they just put down a Light Screen and not a Reflect. Light Screen is a special defensive move, while Reflect is the physical one. And yep, I think we can just use Extreme Speed on this thing. Yeah, that's not gonna we're not going to have any issues there. You could also use Earthquake, but the problem is Manic Trick probably outspeeds you. So you really don't really want to take any risks here. Extreme Speed is more preferable. Oh, and we do get paralyzed, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah. And then we get Magnezone. So Magnezone is obviously annoying. We're about to use Earthquake, and as you can see, Magnezone just has the perfect prediction to that, but Sacred Fire does the same trick. I really hope we don't lose to Flash Cannon here, but so far we've been able to solo with Regigigas, which is honestly a very surprising thing. We almost just lost, and that's pretty crazy to me. But yeah, Regigigas is able to hold the fort and easy KO here with Sacred Fire. The 50% chance that you burn your opponent isn't really that relevant here because, you know, Sacred Fire being a 100 base power move makes it just like insane regardless of the secondary effect. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what we got here. We are faced with Cowgirl Ginger with Tauros. And I think we can just use Extreme Speed, honestly. I don't even know if we need Fake Out, but we could use Fake Out. It doesn't really matter too much, but this does a lot of damage. Look at that. Very, very close to one-hit KOing the Tauros. Just dealing quite a number. Probably should have just led with Extreme Speed, honestly, because that would have saved us some time. But yeah, and then Breloom, we should have no problem here. I mean, they can use Mach Punch, but that's not going to be an issue either. I mean, we could use Sacred Fire too, but there's no point. You might as well just use Extreme Speed, because they could use... I mean, Breloom, I don't know if it has close combat, but it definitely has, like, high-hitting fighting type moves, so you want to be careful. Because it does have 130 attack, I think. So it's a pretty decent attacker. And yeah, Extreme Speed just kind of wipes the field here. I don't think this one KOs Slowking, though. I think that's one of the issues. Because Slowking, Slowbro, they're both pretty bulky. Oh, I spoke too soon. Wow. Yeah, Extreme Speed's Regigigas is just absolutely insane. As you can see here, it crushes the competition. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I upload videos probably about once a week when it comes to Pokemon Hackmons. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Take it easy, folks. Peace out.